Savannah. It's your hometown homie Wild Like Beezy clocking in this beautiful Friday morning. Now you know your hometown homie's definitely gonna hold it down all the way until 3 o'clock. So make sure you keep these radios locked right here during Wild Like Radio.
I'm Lukunda Grimes and I teach dance at Savannah State University. I came here because this was one of my first teaching opportunities in higher academia right after grad school. I actually went to the University of Limerick to get an MA in ethnochoreology, which is the study of dance through culture and culture through dance. And I knew this would be the perfect place for me to start off my academic and dance education career. I think I can teach anyone dance. I think I can teach everyone dance. A lot of people think it's, again, based on a lot of people think dancing is based on having a skill set, when it's really about having a desire and a will to dance. And then from that will and that desire and that passion, you motivate yourself to learn the skill set. You just have to keep showing up every day, and you have to keep giving it your all every day. So that's a life lesson that you can carry through anything.
Yeah, up, stop by your lip, yeah, huh? One, yeah.
I'm very interested in making it an inclusive space, making people feel comfortable in their bodies, making people feel comfortable expressing themselves through movement, and when words fail, being able to have dance as something to translate and to express what it is you want to say is very important. And I think it builds, dance always builds confidence and intelligence in the body and in the mind. HBCU dance lines are auxiliary groups of dancers that dance in front of their HBCU marching band, and usually they don't have props. A lot of times dance lines or HBCU dance line style is misnomered as majorette style because it comes out of the majorette tradition, but majorettes usually dance with batons or sabers, rifles, flags, all those types of things. So the dance line comes out on the field and dances, whereas other auxiliary groups come out on the field with flags or props and things of that nature.
Just imagine yourself sometime if you was in a room dancing and nobody was looking, and your best song came on and you just really got to moving. That's HBCU dance.
HBCU dance lines basically combine so many genres of dance in one. So you see ballet, you see jazz, you see hip hop, you see all of them kind of wrapped. You see African, you see all that kind of wrapped up into one. I don't think I've ever seen any non-HBCU school encompass all those pieces.
HBCUs are safe havens for Black culture and for Black youth. HBCUs are historically Black colleges and universities that were founded before 1964 and whose principal mission is and was the education of African Americans. Before that time, African Americans and other minorities in the United States were barred from attending publicly funded and privately funded universities a lot of times. And then the Civil Rights Act and the Desegregation Act of 1964 barred segregation and made it illegal, especially if you were receiving government funding. So the schools that were created prior to that, using land grants and things of that nature, and their sole mission was the education of African Americans for Black culture and for Black youth who are going to experience being a minority in the country for the rest of their lives. It's a very important time period in their lives where they're leaving adolescence into adulthood to not be the minority, to just be a human. Most people around you are Black, and they're not asking you to assimilate or to explain your culture or to code switch and hide your culture. Like, you're able to be Black and Black out loud. And so this is very fertile ground for very Black cultural practices to grow. HBCU Dance Line is one of those. The first HBCU Dance Line, Alcorn State University, was the fertile ground that helped plant the first seeds of HBCU Dance Line. Most HBCU marching bands at the time had a auxiliary group of majorettes, and then at the Orange Blossom Classic in 1968, Alcorn State University's band director Samuel Griffin wanted to compete with FAMU, which is the band that created the difference in HBCU style, which is show style band, and the traditional core style band, which is more so military and that you see at non-Black colleges. So FAMU was the band. So he asked his majorettes to put their batons down. He got them these gold sequins outfits, and they came out in capes, and they like burst out into the crowd, and they were doing like the youthful dances of the day in the 60s. So they were doing things that you would see James Brown do, or the Supremes, and they were doing all these very youthful dances. Once it hit and the reaction was what it was, it quickly spread.
When you look at the different dance teams, they all got that one thing that they try to brand themselves differently, and that's okay because the underlying current is still HBCU.
So people who have been to HBCUs or who've been to an HBCU football game, they're all aware of this culture. But people outside of that community, they're not really as aware of it.
Mother buckers, mother buckers, mother buckers. I came up with the term mother buckers because I was thinking of one, like if I can get one phrase that describes women who are matriarchs in the dance line culture, who are some of the first women to start HBCU Dance Line, the traditions, and women who are still keepers of the culture.
So it is not an obscene phrase?
It's not in an obscenity at all. It is literally describing the biggest thing that makes HBCU Dance Line unique. So bucking it's a low pelvic thrust that throws everything below the waist forward. Your knees are bent, you're low, and it's like a feeling. It's a look at this, it's like a watch this type of movement. The backs are going, it's bucking. Every person who values dance line isn't from a dance line. Every mother bucker isn't a dance line alumni. Some of them are just dance line enthusiasts. And Tanya Davis in Savannah is one of those people. She actually came to me to ask me to judge her cheer and dance competition that she uses to build confidence in the youth and young women in Savannah. You know, just to show these kids that there is another level. You know, college can be one of their goals, and college supports dancers. She's supporting the exhibit. She's been supporting the events at the exhibit and the documentary, and she's an advocate of making sure these young girls are educated about where Dance Line comes from.
Wow. I wish I could have seen this a long time ago. I wish I could have been a part of this. It's breathtaking. Breathtaking. I actually went to a competition in Statesboro, to be exact. And my very first competition, and I watched the young girls do their thing, and it was amazing. It was amazing. What drew me really to the whole dance line while they were competing was their energy, the confidence first and foremost. I mean, that just draws you. With them getting into this helps them to conquer just about anything. Because if you have young children and they are in front of multitudes of people and they're competing and they can do that, they can do anything. First of all, it's a lot of work. You must have passion for what you do. You have to care about what you do. Because anybody can just put together a show. But if you have care and concern about what you're doing, you can make it meaningful. Meaningful, yes. I wanted the young girls to know that you can take it further. Because there are a lot of teams, they're community teams, but a lot of them, they don't know that they could take this gift and get a college scholarship, or you could take this gift after college and you can do concerts, you can do Broadway, you can do a lot of different things. It doesn't just stop right here.
HBCU dance line style is, to me, one of the last pure forms of jazz dance. It is a artistic and moving history and current history of what young black women are experiencing. And that's what jazz used to mean before it was codified and put into studios. Jazz was the word used to describe that feeling of watching black people create art.
First of all, I'm not a fan, I'm a stan. There is a difference. When I came to South Carolina State, Champaign dancers carried themselves in a way that was very attractive to me. They were the cream of the crop. They were academically inclined. They were into everything on campus. They were the girls that all the other girls look up to. And so when I saw them conducting themselves in this way, it was something, they stood out from everybody else. And so when I found out that these ladies were Champaign dancers, I was like, okay, all right. And so I began to follow them, and I've been following them since 1986.
It embodies a woman that's confident, that is just uninhibited. It's freedom.
The typical response to an outsider that, probably has never seen this style of dance before, probably will be taken differently. They may think that it's sexual, or that it's, it's a little over the top, or, have pushed past you know, what they think is acceptable or like, you know, too much. And some of it, again, can be seen differently. Like a lot of our African movement, you know, movement period stems from Africa. So if it's a pelvic type of movement or like hips or, you know, anything that is a rolling movement, like, yeah, they're gonna probably be like, oh my gosh, but no, it's like that's part of our culture.
Because right then, I just say that's closed-minded. I don't, what's wrong with being a little sassy? What's wrong with having a little flair? I think the problem is that we've allowed as a culture people to put certain movements in a box. And half of the time the movements are directly related to African American movement.
You have to understand that if the person that's looking at it is not familiar with an HBCU dance line and what goes on, it looks very different to them, because what they're used to seeing is typical dance teams that have a style like they do at a predominantly white institution. And so when you come to a black institution and you see the girls who are bucking and getting down, that's part of the style. That's what makes them different. That's what makes them unique.
I don't know how else to perform without making it seem like that's not, if my focus is in my butt, I'm performing. I'm not thinking about my butt. I'm just dancing. My butt just happens to be with my body. So I think that, you know, it's weird for me as a dancer. You know, I've danced literally all my life, and I don't think that, you know, if there's anything wrong with a black woman feeling confident and comfortable in her skin and being able to perform, and whether it's a leotard, whether it's shorts, whether it's tights, and being able to showcase her style of dance, there's nothing wrong with that. And as a HBCU, you know, alumni, I'm like, yeah, that style is never going to go away.
HBCU dance lines are here to stay. The majorette style has caught on. You have Miss Diana with the Dancing Dolls, who has done tremendous for our style. You have Beyonce, who uses our style and has made it internationally known.
Black culture is vibrant, and it is thriving, and it is exciting, and it's human. It's not just for oohs and ahs. It affects it's buildup of humans who are affected by their arts practices and who are showcasing who they are through their arts practices, and it's going to be celebrated by these people, and it's going to exist whether it's accepted or embraced by mainstream culture or not.
And so yes, I absolutely feel that there are a lot of things that are coming to HBCU dance lines, so be prepared, be ready for it.
So dance line is at a place where people, because black people in particular are valuing it more and keeping it as it is instead of watering it down and washing it down to appeal to a mass audience. I think the uniqueness of it and the beauty of it is going to, it's being preserved, and so it's bringing more people into it.